Study summary points. 4. Managing buyers. Buyer-broker agreements. Buyer-broker agreements are formal contracts that secure a commitment from a buyer not to purchase a home through some other agent. Use of a buyer-broker agreement increases the likelihood that an agent will be adequately compensated for work. Establishment of agency. The establishment of an agency relationship is not tied to compensation. Once the licensee begins acting on behalf of the buyer, the licensee is automatically obligated under Florida statute to uphold duties to the buyer in the capacity of a transaction broker. This is the presumption unless the licensee establishes a different form of relationship with a written disclosure. Despite the establishment of obligation from the licensee to the buyer, in no way has the buyer become obligated to the licensee to ensure that the licensee is paid. Procuring cause. Brokers that are members of the Multiple Listing Service and Realtors Associations may be entitled to compensation for assisting a buyer in a sale if the property purchase was advertised in the MLS as offering a commission or compensation. If the listing broker refuses to pay the buyer's agent, the buyer's broker may bring action through the local association by proving procuring cause. Procuring cause is an unbroken chain of events that led to the sale of the property. Unbroken chain of events. Chain of events that led to the sale of the property. One faltering in this chain and the broker would likely lose a procuring cause claim. Compensation. A commission, a fee, or something of value paid to a broker to assist in the sale of property. Suits for compensation must be made by the broker, not a sales associate or a broker associate. Courting period. Working with the buyer for a brief period without a formal commitment to maintain the relationship long term. This is often done to make sure the buyer is comfortable with the relationship. Buyer presentation. A formal meeting with the buyer outlining the benefits of entering a formal relationship with the licensee as a buyer's agent. Normally involves formal marketing material regarding agency, services, a buyer-broker agreement, and a buyer assessment of needs. Steps include 1. A greeting and set the timeline for the appointment. 2. Establish rapport. 3. Present the benefits. 4. Conduct a needs assessment. 5. Provide summary of the market. 6. Lay out a plan to search for property. And 7. Enter into a formal buyer brokerage relationship. Buyer feature benefits. Features are presented by stating how it benefits the buyer. For example, if the licensee works for a small brokerage, this can be presented as, the broker at XYZ Realty reviews every contract that I write. That means that you have the best of the best, making sure that your interests are being well presented. Needs assessment, asking questions to determine what a buyer is looking for in a property. Pre-qualifying the buyer. This is an initial application and review of income documents to indicate whether a buyer will be approved for a loan. This is not the same as a full loan approval. When a buyer has not yet been pre-qualified, the licensee should refer the buyer to several lenders rather than only one to avoid liability for the actions of the lender. Realistic expectations. When the buyer's want and needs do not match what is actually available on the market, the licensee must educate the buyer as to what is available and for how much. Counselor. Purchasing a home can be an emotional and stressful process. Plus, joint buyers may not agree on what is desired. Licensees may end up acting as a counselor to work through the home buying process. Partnering with buyers. It is the buyer's job to review listings sent by email, to review videos, review photos, and do drive-bys of property. Often homes can be eliminated through this process. Buyer drive-bys. Driving by a property allows the buyer to get a feel of the neighborhood and external factors that the buyer might judge without ever seeing the inside of the home. Buyer rebates. Buyer rebates are legal under RESPA and TILA if handled properly. The broker may pay a buyer or seller a portion of the commission or fee earned. This must be disclosed to all parties, including lenders. MLS. Property information is shared by members in the multiple listing service. The MLS may be used to search for property for buyers. The searches can be set up as automatic, emailing the buyer automatically as properties come on the market that matches search descriptions. Property search. Searching for property that matches a buyer's descriptions of property, wants, and needs is called a property search. Examples include the number of bedrooms desired. Staggering showings. Scheduling property showings in overlapping timeframes. For properties located within close driving distance from each other, schedule the first showing for a full hour. Then stagger the next showing by starting that showing a half hour from the first, also with access for an hour. Keep staggering. Offers. Licensees who are members of the Florida Association of Realtors will have access to several versions of purchase contracts. Offers can be written and signed electronically. Offers should be prepared carefully to match the buyer's intentions. Counteroffers. A seller may counter the terms of the buyer's offer as a counteroffer. It is the licensee's job to communicate the terms of the counter clearly and to help keep the buyer's emotions in check. If the buyer would like to counter the counter, a new clean offer must be written.